So I'm thinking about changing my name, thinking about coming up with a different stage name. I have some ideas. I don't know. What do you think? Should I change my name? No more JerDog. None of this. No more that. Gone. That's history. Maybe I should go with something else. Hey, Sean, what's up? Marty's here. Hank, a couple other people joining in. Thank you guys so much for being here. Should I change my name? Should I change it from JerDog to something more recognizable like Jeremy Seinfeld? I'm thinking I might be the way to go. What do you think? You got any good stage names for me out there? I've been going with JerDog now for like 20 years. Anyway, let's get into it. It's Tuesday afternoon, March 6th, 4:20 p.m. I'm your good pal, Jeremy Seinfeld, and this is the 420 report. Hey, Ashton, what's up? Chris is here. Sarah's here. Carol, Michael, everybody here. Thanks for joining in, everybody. Here's my question to you. Should I change my name from JerDog to something? People are always like, where do you get the name JerDog? Where does that come from? What does that mean? It's an old college nickname that I got way back in the day, like 1993 or 1994, and then it just stuck when I started doing stand-up comedy. It was easier for MCs and hosts of the show, opening acts, other comedians, bookers, club owners. It was easy for them to just remember JerDog than Jeremy Danley for some reason. I'd have it clearly spelled out on the piece of paper that the MC would be reading while they introduced me, and they'd always screw it up. Here comes to the stage Jiminy Delaney, Jerry Danielson. So I was like, screw this, man. I just started going with my nickname, JerDog, which was what all my friends knew me by anyway. And then they were able to know that I was performing at the club, so they came to the show. Jason's here. What's up, Jason? Gary's here. Lindsay's here. But I met another JerDog last week at my show up in Alpena, Michigan. We sold out. It was close to sell out. There were a few seats left in the back still, I would have to say. Katrina Brown and I teamed up for the He Said, She Said comedy show at the Eagles Club there in Alpena. Once again, big shout out to Natasha and Hank and Old Man River, who sat right up front dressed like Santa Claus in his ugly Christmas sweater and Santa cap and everything. It made for such a memorable night. And big shout out and thank you to the guy who tried to save the day by bringing in his son's stereo system, probably totally confiscated from his son's bedroom. I thought it probably contained a drug stash on the inside of the speaker. We never got to the bottom of that because I couldn't get my hands on a screwdriver to take that fucker apart. But needless to say, it didn't work. Even the guy who tried to save the day, it didn't work, but it was funny as hell, man. And we just worked it into the show. And then out of nowhere, by miracle, my sound system kicked right back the hell in. This Friday, I'm actually doing another sold-out show in Dorrance, Kansas at the Boathouse Bar and Grill. It's my first time ever performing there, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited. I always like going to new places and meeting new and different people. Like I met this guy, JerDog, last Saturday night at the Eagles Club in Alpena. That's why I got to change my name. I thought I was the only one out there. I thought I was the one and only JerDog. Turns out some other asshole from northern Michigan's been running around with my name for the last 20 goddamn years. So I got to figure out something else, man. Go by another JerDog saying, hey, so yeah, dude, totally another. I thought I thought I was the only one. I really did. I'd heard of some other JerDog or some other character, Jer Bear or somebody on another radio station like in northern Indiana at one point, but I never saw evidence of it. And whenever I've gone onto Google and Googled my own name, JerDog, either all of my stuff comes up, like 200 YouTube videos, which if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you need to do so now. And you need to head over to barcomic.com where you can grab a free copy of my CD, Totally Baked. Just put in your name and your email and your shipping address, and I will send you a free copy of my CD. I'm coming out with another CD, the Bar Comic, soon. So this is the old one, and I'm just giving away the old copies. Last week I took on the road with me like 2 to sell at the shows for $10, but you can get yours free. Just go to barcomic.com, subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Bar Comic, and you can see all the crazy shit that goes down. We're going to be putting up videos from last week when the sound system went out on Saturday night, when I almost got bum rushed by a heckler on Friday night. Some crazy madman just decided to, I don't know. I don't even think he was really heckling me. I think he just had some personal issue going on and he was talking a little bit too loudly. But I went to bring him into the show and he started making violent threats at me. Which I thought was actually pretty funny. I can handle the awkwardness. A lot of times the audience can't, but then you just turn it into humor. It's just that much easier to break the ice, break the tension, get everybody laughing and cheering for you on your side, you know. This Friday, I'll be in Dorrance, Kansas, the Boathouse Bar and Grill with Nathan Tricky Allen. See, he changed his name. Maybe that's what we should go by. Maybe we should do Jeremy Seinfeld and Nathan Copperfield. And we'll sell some shows. Seinfeld and Copperfield coming live with the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show this Friday, March 9th in Dorrance, Kansas at the Boathouse Bar and Grill. And then we're bringing the same show, Jeremy Seinfeld and Nathan Copperfield, to the historic Pastime Bar in Leadville, Colorado. I know I've got a lot of Colorado fans, friends, and followers out there. And Colorado's a big-ass state, so I don't know if you can get your ass to Leadville this Saturday night. Even if you can, it's too late. That fucker's sold out as well. You know what? Maybe I don't need to change my name. I just want to play bigger venues. I want to play I want to be the only JerDog out there. That's what's got me. It's got so under my skin that I met this fucking guy named JerDog over the weekend. I thought I was the only one. It used to be you could Google JerDog and either all of my stuff would come up, or it would be a link to a women's athletic apparel company based out in California. Those are the only two JerDogs out there. But now I met some other cat who's been going by JerDog for 20 years, and now I feel like it's not so special anymore. What do you think, guys? You could always go as Weed Burner. Oh, thanks, Hank. I always thought that did not need to be said. Nathan T. Allen in the house. Okay, this is my point. We're going on the road together this weekend, the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show to Dorrance, Kansas and Leadville, Colorado. We've got 2 sold-out shows already. There's smaller bars, which are my favorite places to do, the neighborhood nightclub, tavern, bar and grill type establishment. You bring in 50 to 100 to 200 people. We pack them in. It's a nice intimate experience, and everybody has a great time. You get a meet and greet with everybody afterwards. It's so much easier to do the crowd interaction. But it would be nice to play some bigger venues. What I would like to do is change our names just for the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show to Jeremy Seinfeld and Nathan Copperfield. That's what we're going to start going by, and then we can do big theaters. Seinfeld and Copperfield coming to a theater near you. What do you think, guys? Should I go with it or not? Nathan Tricky Allen. This dude has been around for as long as I can remember, really as long as I can remember doing the Grassroots Comedy Tour. Started it back in 2003, and I think it was like a year later when I was rolling into a small bar up in northern Iowa, and the bar was like, "Hey, JerDog, I got this kid magician that wants to open for you." I don't even think he was of legal age to get into the bar at that time. And he was going by the Maniac of Magic, had some like gangster motif going on, dressing like, you know, an old school 1930s Chicago gangster carrying around a Tommy gun type guy, like an Al Capone type magician gimmick, right? Which I think you still do carry that big ass wallet chain around like you did back then, if you're still watching, Nathan. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm screwing up any of this story, but anyway, kid's not, he's maybe 18, 19 years old, not even legal to get into the bar, gets on stage, does like 15 minutes of some really crazy shit. I don't remember what it was. I just remember it was crazy. It wasn't your usual cheesy bullshit magician garbage where they've got like, 2 ropes and then they put the ropes together and it makes one big long rope. And he was like, had blood in his show. He's chewing up razor blades. He's doing all kinds of crazy stunts. He's cursing like crazy. Kid magician in the bar. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll give this guy a chance. We did a few more shows later on the road, and then it was like, I don't know, 8 years later, he had a full 90-minute set ish, hour-long set ish. We started doing casino shows together, the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show, and I've been selling out venues since. Been a few roadblocks along the way. We've had a few obstacles. We've definitely had our shares of ups and downs, but that's what happens when you team up with anybody and you go on the road as a traveling troubadour. bringing comedy to the masses. That's why I videotape every fucking thing. You never know what the hell's going to happen. Like this last weekend when the sound went out. The sound went out in the fucking very first casino Nathan and I did the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick show at, Deadwood, South Dakota. A casino goes completely power out. Like, it was like, remember Ocean's 11? That's how they robbed the casino. They cut the power out to the entire thing. That's exactly what happened like 5-10 minutes into my set in Deadwood, South Dakota. Oh, I don't even remember the name of it. It was like the Grand Lodge, something like that. But it was the inception of the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick show that very night. And then I proceeded to do 45 minutes in the dark with no microphone for 400 people. We did another 5 days on the road after that. We played a gay bar the next night in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We played a towny bar in Urbana, Iowa. We played another place up in northern Iowa, Nathan's area, his neck of the woods, and packed that bitch out. Then we drove all the way down to, I think it was Quincy, Illinois, and did a corporate event. So we go from casino to neighborhood bars to gay bars to corporate events, and we realized this type of show has mass appeal. But it might have even more mass appeal if we change our names from JerDog and Nathan Tricky Allen to Jeremy Seinfeld and Nathan Copperfield. Seinfeld and Copperfield coming to a theater near you at the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick show. What do you think? Should I change my name or not? Blaine's in the house. We got to get back up there to the Eagles Club, man. We had a great show that night in Kennewick. Sold that fucker out, just like we did this last weekend in Alpena. Eagles Clubs are some of the best audiences I found. They're very supportive. They spread the word. They are very loyal to their club. Very good, loyal followers and fans to have when you're doing comedy. People who are going to go out there and tell everybody else how much fun they had. And then the next time you come around, you have an even bigger turnout, even more fun. And they already know your name without having to change it to some Seinfeld and Copperfield. Ali says, keep it. I don't know what you mean. Keep it. Keep Seinfeld. Go by Jeremy Seinfeld. Keep the new name. Seinfeld and Copperfield, or keep JerDog. Hey, Janelle, what's up? Greg's in the house. Here's another funny Nathan Tricky Allen story, which he might not want me to tell, but I'm going to fucking do it anyway. I don't give a shit. I've got 8 more minutes at least. I like to do 20-minute live video blogs, just talking off the top of my head to whoever wants to join in, but I especially appreciate you being here today. The crowd just gets bigger and better at all the shows, and a large part of it has to do with the fact that I get to talk to you guys on social media every single day. I think this is the coolest shit in the world, broadcasting right here live from my man cave basement. I've always wanted my own version of Wayne's World. Now I pretty much fucking got it. Oh, it's cool as shit. So thank you for being here. Hit the share button, hit the like button, leave me a comment. Pete Conroy says, if you change your name, the 420 reports won't be the same. We all look for JerDog. You mean you want to look for Jeremy Seinfeld or Nathan Copper? Maybe we'll just do it just for the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick show. Like I'll still stay JerDog. Like in old 80s wrestling, even before 80s wrestling, and even a little bit afterwards, like when it was coming up in the big time, if you couldn't get Hulk Hogan and it was the local wrestling promoter wanted to draw in a big crowd with some very talented wrestlers, very talented performers, they just hadn't made a name for themselves yet, and they might have worked for some other territory in another part of the Midwest where nobody knew their name, they would bring in, and if you couldn't get Hulk Hogan, they would always bring in some guy named like Hunk Hogan or Buck Hogan or something along those lines as the brother of whoever the main superstar was. Well, maybe that's what I could just start doing, dude, just for the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick show. So we could just call ourselves Jeremy Seinfeld and Nathan Copperfield. We won't claim to be the brothers of Jerry Seinfeld and David Copperfield. It'll just be implied that we're somehow related. I can still put JerDog brings improvisational laughter for 90 minutes. Nathan Copperfield, Tricky is his middle name. That's all still true shit, but just with enough P.T. Barnum sprinkled bullshit in there in order to draw the crowd. And then you get him in that night, you do the same fucking show you always do, totally crush it, nobody's the wiser, everybody's happy, win-win situation. And that's what I'm here to do, solve problems. Pete Conroy, is that your show where you made people piss their pants literally? You must have been at Schulte's compound in Janesville, Wisconsin. That's a place where if I change my name to Jeremy Seinfeld, it might be a detriment. That's a place where that's like one town out of maybe a dozen across the country where JerDog has a little bit of pull. I love those fuckers in Janesville. So shout out to all my redneck peeps there. Shout out to you, Pete. Christy Hines, party on, Jer. Party on, you too. I just got some water right now. But I'll be back tomorrow with probably a beer, maybe a cocktail. I'm not sure whether maybe I'll do a shot of tequila for a Wednesday hump day happy hour. So far, no guest. I usually like to bring a comedian on as a guest and talk shop. Maybe I'll bring Nathan on. Maybe I can do that. I'll bring on Nathan Tricky Allen if he wants to come on and if he's got time to do it. And we'll talk about this whole stage name idea that I've got. We'll explore it a little bit more. Otherwise, if you have any suggestions for comedians that I could bring on to the 420 Report on a future episode, just let me know. Leave that in a comment. I already told the story about the first time I met Nathan. Oh, the story that I wanted to tell you about Nathan that I don't think he wants anybody to know, but I'm going to fucking put it out there anyway. I don't give a shit. The dude's funny. He's going to go a long way in show business, and we've got 2 sold-out shows this week. Dorrance, Kansas, the Boathouse Bar and Grill, and Historic Pastime Bar in Leadville, Colorado. Then next Thursday night, March 15th, we're going to Olwine, Iowa for a show at Cleeton Connie's. We'll probably sell that one out as well if it's not sold out already. And then I head on over to Lake Park, Iowa next Saturday, March 17th for a St. Patty's Day Grassroots Comedy Tour show at the Gunderson Supper Club. W. Maxwell's headlining the Grassroots Comedy Tour tomorrow night at Boxcars Pub and Grub in Clinton, Wisconsin. So if any of my Wisconsin peeps are watching right now and you can head on over to Clinton, they might have some tickets left. The last I heard that it was sold out, but there's usually some walk-ups that they let in because sometimes people don't show up even though they bought tickets ahead of time. Katrina Brown, the Mutant Queen of Comedy, will be heading over to Grettinger, Iowa this Friday night, March 9th, for a show at Birdie's Burgers and Brews. But now the big finale for today's 420 Report. The time when I almost completely fired Nathan Tricky Allen and wanted nothing to do with him again, ever again, as long as I live. And that was the night that we worked together for a corporate event in Des Moines, Iowa. This is for a truckers group, not a truckers group, it's a trucking company that had been coming out to my shows for years. Way back in the day when I very first started the Grassroots Comedy Tour, we did several shows at a place called KC's Halftime Bar. It was a sports bar in Manson, Iowa, right outside of Fort Dodge. And there's this trucking company outside of Fort Dodge. I still got a lot of them for Facebook fans and friends right now. So, Chico, if you're watching, hit me up with a like, leave me a comment, back my story up. 3 years goes by, and we just partied a little bit too hard at that Best Western in Fort Dodge to where they wouldn't even let us come back the next year. They would not even let the trucking company host another event there because the year before we just went too fucking crazy, right? It even got to the point where I think at one point the cops were called. In fact, I know at one point the cops were called. So next year they take the whole show down to West Des Moines. Beautiful Hilton Hotel. I'm pretty sure it's a Hilton. Beautiful Hilton there in Jordan Creek. And they go, JerDog, what do you have for us this year? How the hell are you going to top last year's show? And I was like, because it just went crazy. It was a lot of fun. I go, I've got the perfect event for you. I've got the alcoholic, rated R, adults only bar magician. And this was before we'd officially teamed up to do the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick show. It was just sort of the idea that the two of us could work together on a show where it'd just be full out rated R, adults only, but super high in spectacle, super high in audience interactive content, bringing up different people from the audience to be a volunteer in the magic part of the show, and that's completely improvisational. And then on top of which, how I make up material on the fly, and I just go completely improvisational. Hey, Darlene, good to see you here, man. It's like improv, and that's good skill to have, because that's what got me out of getting my ass kicked last Friday night at Uptown Bar, when that dude started yelling out and fuck you and fuck off and you do your job and I'll do mine and everything else, and then beating on the door outside. So I paired Nathan and I up together for our very first big tag team event, where we're going to do a 2.5, 3 hour show for this trunking company in West Des Moines. And we'd gotten in so much trouble the year before, partying hard. I'm like, okay, this is going to be the perfect event. I got a wingman with me. We're just going to give it completely off the hook, blow the doors off this fucking place, and they were going to have us back year after year after year. Not so much. Not exactly how it went down. I thought for sure Nathan was going to come out there with all of his tricks and whistles and skills and abilities and powers and illusions and just really blow the doors off. So I go, there's no way I'm going to be able to follow this dude. So I went on first. I put Nathan up on second. I don't know, and you'll have to get Nathan's input on this. And if he's here right now, he can leave a comment and verify any of this. If I can even scroll down, which I can't. It's kind of irritating me. I want to see if he's leaving any comments or not. The comments ran out. I got so many of them. Thank you for that, by the way. And thanks for all the likes and love going across the screen. Nathan gets so nervous watching me on stage that he doesn't think he can follow me. And I'm doing a lot of crowd interaction and back and forth. And this is a rowdy bunch. They're truckers. They're drinkers. And they're blue-collar guys, and they're bar goers, and they ain't putting up with shit, man. They like to be involved in the show, and half the time they're throwing out smart-ass quips and comments that are even funnier than what I'm coming up with. But you just got to roll with it. Roll with the punches. Just keep it going. Improv with the crowd. That's what people like the best. That's what they remember the most. So that's what I'm doing, the usual JerDog brand of irreverent improvisational style comedy. Well, I guess Nathan the whole time, he's just getting fueled up on that headliner's helper, aka Jack Daniels, or whatever whiskey he was pounding all night long, so that by the time he gets on stage, and I gave him this huge introduction, round of applause for the maniac of magic, Nathan Allen. And he gets up on stage, and they're raring to go. And he's got him for a little bit. He's got him for just a little bit. But at that point, back in those days, the dude was just a little too scripted still. Just a little bit too routine oriented, where he didn't necessarily have the ability to go off the fly of what people would just randomly yell at him from the crowd. And at one point, he was working with the audience volunteer. Things were not going good. The jokes were falling flat. They weren't quite getting it. And credit where credit's due. He was doing the best he could with what he had, because that group, they were partiers. They were fucking drunk as hell. Even though it was a corporate event, they were there to party like it was their own private bar. So they're probably good to go with just the JerDog show, quite honestly. And I didn't need to bring all the bells and whistles. Didn't even need to bring the alcoholic magician along, but they wanted something bigger and better. Well, they eventually got something bigger and better. And that's when Nathan got to the point where the person in the audience starts giving him a Heimlich maneuver, because they thought that he was choking on a napkin that he ate. And he fell backwards through the stage curtains, backwards off the back of the stage, got stuck between the stage and the wall. At least appeared to be stuck between the stage and the wall. And there he remained for at least a few minutes in awkward silence. People didn't know what the hell to do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if it was part of the act. I didn't know if it was part of the comedy. I didn't know if I needed to get up there and help him out. I didn't know if I needed to call 911. All I did was continue to sit there and run the video camera, because I knew that it was gold, baby. We put it up on YouTube. It's been one of the best watched videos since. I think it's called like Junk Magician Falls Through Curtain or something like that. You can check it out. Anyway, a dude's come a long fucking way since then, and I'm excited to be traveling halfway across the country once again this weekend to bring the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show, Dorrance, Kansas, the Boathouse Bar and Grill this Friday night, Leadville, Colorado this Saturday night, the Historic Pastime Bar. I'll give you all the show information in here, but they're sold out. We're also going to be doing Clayton Connie's and Owine next Thursday. I'm going to Gunderson Supper Club next Saturday for a crazy St. Patty's Day show. We're doing Danvers, Illinois, the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show at the Vault Bar and Grill. I played there many times. Those are some crazy fuckers. I'll be back tomorrow with another 420 Report live video blog at 4:20 p.m. or as close as possible with Hump Day Happy Hour. I'll have a beer or cocktail in my hand. Hopefully, I'll have Nathan Tricky Allen on the line with me as a guest. Maybe not. That has not been verified. That's something that I just came up with off the top of my head while I'm ranting and raving into a laptop camera. Thank you very much for being here today. Spread the word, spread the love, hit the share button, go to barcomic.com, grab a free copy, totally free copy of my CD, Totally Baked, and I'll also let you know when my new CD, The Bar Comic, is coming out. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here, everybody. Pete, Christy, who else? Darlene, Keith. I want to scroll up. I want to see some more comments, but fuck it. I'm not going to change my name. I'm just going to go with JerDog for now, but maybe when I team up with Nathan, only for the Dirty Jokes and Magic Trick Show, we'll go by Jeremy Seinfeld and Nathan Copperfield. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you're still watching, leave a comment, leave a like. I'll try to get to all of them. I'll see you tomorrow at 4:20 p.m. as close as possible.